Hello, I'm Bridget. I want to talk today about tools that you need to do home electrical. I do a lot of different projects, and I find when I work with people, they always believe that they need all of the tools. You don't need all of the tools. Especially for something like home electrical, a few tools is going to do most of what you need to do. So we're going to go through what I think you need today. The first item I think you need is a good wire stripper cutter. This one's a Platinum Tool one. It's made of good quality steel. It's going to last a long time. It goes from 20 gauge to 10 gauge, which is more gauges than you probably will do. And like I say, it has a cutter inside of it and a strip. There's cheaper ones out there. I wouldn't buy a really cheap one. There's some good brands, but if you buy a cheap one, you're going to get what you paid for. But this is the most important tool you want to have. The second thing you want to have is a wire cutter. There's a couple different options. If you want to just cut wire, there's a round data cutter. It'll cut your electrical wire, but it'll also cut CATV wire and Cat 6 and Cat 5 wire. It's not really perfectly designed to do this, but it cuts quick and fast. Then of course you have just the plain old from the hardware store wire cutter. They're pretty hard to use, truthfully, and they're pretty, see, I'm telling you they're hard. They're a pretty narrow use. That's all they're going to do is cut a flat piece of wire. They're not either one of them my choice as the main tool for a cutter to get. Your next option on cutters would be a cutter that includes a plier. One option is a lineman's plier. Lineman's plier has a flat, large plier and a cutter in the back. It's going to cut the wire a lot easier than the little flat cutter. And if you're going to squash some big wires or something, this is nice to have. Also, there's a smaller version of the lineman's pliers, but I really like the bigger one better. My favorite cutter is the one that is needle nose pliers with a cutter on the back. The needle nose pliers works well to make small loops in the wire. The cutter will cut your pieces of wire off pretty readily. So this would be my number 2 choice of items that you would want to have. The third item that you want to have is a box knife. This is just a cheap old box knife. You can see I've used it a lot. It's rusty and probably should have a new blade. You're going to use a box knife to cut the jacket on your wire. So basically you want it to have a nice sharp blade, and you don't want to have a really crappy one, but a really good one isn't necessary either. So that would be the third item. The fourth item would be a Phillips and a straight screwdriver. I prefer to get one that's a combination. This one has a large and a small Phillips and screwdriver on one end, and a large and small screwdriver on the other end. These 4 tools are going to do 90% of what you need to do on any home electrical. There's other tools you could get, but basically if you had these 4 tools, you can do 90% of what I'm going to show you how to do. Mm-hmm.